for their space. They want you in for 3 days, bang, you're on.
I would highly recommend PAUA. I thought it was excellent. Heaps of energy, great use of space, funny, colloquial. Check it out.
It's enjoyable. It really was. Enterprising. Yeah, just most enjoyable. What you'd expect from that company.
I thought it was very interesting. I was with myself though. Yeah, the use of stage was great, and it's cool to see more of Alan Henry getting out there and doing some more combat and fighting stuff.
I thought the play was really, really good. I haven't been to a play in a very long time. I thought it was very well done. The cast was great. The plot was great, the whole show. In general, it was great. I'd see it again.
Collaboration with Downstage was that we had a 2-week production week instead of a week production week, so that all that physical stuff at the end could be explored properly in here. Obviously we have plans and we know the architecture, but it's nothing like coming into the real thing. But it's been evolving over the last couple of months, and I guess the first month of the process was just writing and trying to develop the characters and tell a story, albeit, you know, thrillery, flimsy kind of.
The things we started playing with was trying to scare an audience and try to scare each other. So in the rehearsal space, we spent some time just devising little kind of scenes to try and scare our fellow members. And so that was kind of one of the first things I think we started trying to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Some you hid behind the curtain and you went boo.
Yeah, I went boo. We got rid of that one straight away. But we did things like we hung the kayak up in the rehearsal room, so we got to use the kayak, you know, really quite quickly, and we try to create things with the kayak. And one of the ones was the one where he comes up and he gets pulled down, and that was one of the kind of first kind of scary things we used with the kayak. But
the first 2 weeks we were in a space that had no natural light, so we could experiment with light a little bit, which is something that would be really nice to have in future productions, to be able to play with light, because light is such a big element and, you know, can become integral to the storytelling.
So like the torch, you know, it comes out of necessity too, you know, when you're in a room and you've got just a few things to play with. A torchlight might be the only source that you have, and because of that you're able to hone in on scenes, really you're able to sort of frame a scene like almost cinematically, so we can direct things to where we want them to go, and that obviously gives you a lot of time and space to reset and move around and get set for other, so the show can be continuous in that way. And that's one of the wonderful things about sort of just playing with just a few things or on a really limited tools at the start. And a lot of great things come from that, and then of course, you know, all the great toys come in.
It's like one of those movies where you just can tell that there's going to be a trilogy following. Population has always been in the background of most of these plays, starting with the first one in 2000, which was about genetic engineering, and it was about a seed farmer who couldn't get his wife pregnant, an organic seed farmer, and it was a field trial on the road. And, you know, again, it comes down to population. Agriculture is driven by population demand.
But if you wrote a play about that, it would be dull as dishwater. You kind of got to approach politics, you know, on an angle. Otherwise, it would just be really boring. You just go watch a lecture.
You spend the first month just writing it all up, and sometimes you just go, this is too hard to improvise, someone has to go and write it based on reading on, you know, about some PAUA stats or some forensic jargon that we can't improvise. So it is a bit of both, but essentially it comes from jamming ideas and improvising at the same time.
Part of the process is just working out what the process is, and sometimes you don't really understand that. You're just having to go with your gut instinct and just, you know, just trusting that everyone's kind of on board and everyone knows what they're trying to do, what we're trying to make, and you know, just kind of trusting in that, not having to have a specific, you know, 2 hours I spent this and 2 hours I spent that, but just having being adaptable to just kind of do anything at any given moment.
I am quite pedantic about nailing down a script though after about 6 weeks and starting to refine what we've got. That's the whole point of taking a long time. And I don't know any other company that does that, to actually get a script and then go, right, we can workshop it. We've got enough time to workshop it for another month before we start actually rehearsing it solid. And having that time is everything. That's where the kind of ingenuity comes from, and the refinement, and all the choreography, and it's time to do it. I don't know where these ideas come from, but I did come to the process thinking it should be about a serial killer who's killing PAUA poachers. And that's come from maybe 20 years of PAUA diving and feeling like the resource gets more scarce, and this whole issue with population that I constantly seem to come back to and drive everyone mad with. And so one day that idea sprung out, and that was the starting point for the play. How the story evolved, and what what the characters are, and the intricacies of and dynamics of the play is all brought to the room by the actors and everybody.
Yes, well, I really didn't know much about the whole PAUA issue until I came on board, really, and then started researching it. There's lots of information and material out there, and so yes, I did become much more aware of the situation.
A long time, like from a kid, I remember when I didn't even have to get my hair wet to get PAUAs, and now I'm having to dive, because I'm a diver as well, I'm having to dive at least 6 meters just to get a proper size one. So for me, and doing this show, it's opened my eyes and made me realise, wow, if it keeps going the way it's going, the next PAUA we see will be in Te Papa. The sun is actually against the father PAUA poaching, because that whole act of PAUA poaching can divide families, because it's such a lucrative market, and it's quick money, it's a quick fix. Lots of families, Māori families, Polynesians families fall into that trap, and once you're in there, you're stuck pretty much. You can't get out of it. So.
Me personally, I still don't think it's all right to go and shoot someone if they're stealing something. I don't think that's perhaps the answer. But you know, I think there's a lot more other criminals I would top before someone who took some power. But because of that, we need to elevate that folklore status, and so you have a character in there who's just kind of pure sinister in the end, you know, to help lift that.
I wish I had the answer. I hope, if anything, we can kind of, bring some light on the debate, because at the end of the day it comes down to money, and it would be great to be able to have more people manning the coasts and more ways of stopping people, but it's just not a reality. It's like, having more people to pay tax.
From what I've read though recently, apparently it is getting better, and there's more reseeding programs. And I think the fishery officers have been requesting sprays to protect themselves. Yeah.